Hi and welcome to this course lecture. Today we are going to learn how we can get started with Ruby. Ruby programming language. So Ruby is strongly compared to Python programming. How? Let's go to our Ruby webpage, fire up your Google Chrome, and then you should write Ruby programming like this. Let's see what we get in this. Click on the first link and you get a dynamic open source language which focuses on simplicity. So working in Ruby is very simple. If you have worked on Python, then you can work on Ruby. If you have familiar experience with database, how you write PL/SQL, SQL queries, then you will find similar syntax in Ruby as well. Why should we learn Ruby? Because Ruby is very powerful for web development and Ruby is also used in very big MNCs. So let's start with Ruby. Ruby has true object-oriented programming language support and also can be connected with over tons of databases like Postgres, MongoDB, Oracle, and much more. Let's start. Go to rubylang.org English and here you see the website for Ruby. So let's start this setup. Click on download Ruby and then you will find tons of link. Don't need to do anything. Just click on Windows machine you use Ruby installer. Click on this and then you are graded over here. आप जब यहाँ पे आ जाए इस पेज पे Ruby installer for Windows, click on download and then which version you want, click on that. I click on Ruby installer DevKit 3.1 current version and for 64-bit. बट अगर आपका कंप्यूटर 34-bit है तो आप 86 वाला यूज करिए. Okay, click on this downloaded link, let it open. Like that, you will be now greeted with some setup, Ruby installer setup. Now accept the license, click next, select the path where you want to install Ruby, install, click on two of these. You want HTML documentation and also development toolchain. Next, and let it extract. Till then, it is done. Let me come back to the website. Go back, and go to documentation. The documentation to get started, you can use Learn to Program and also you can use Ruby Essential. Now, why Ruby? Why not Python? Ruby has power to handle large things very quickly, and also it is powerful enough to make web applications. Now it is a little bit slower than Python in terms of compilation, but Ruby is demanded by most of the companies because of its strict typings and also the way it is written. Because the people who are familiar with Oracle or MySQL or any of the databases should use Ruby because they have a very friendly syntax and also there are much more stronger syntax based concepts in this. So if anyone is new to the programming, can use Ruby in terms of this and also can use Ruby for web development or making CGI applications. So Ruby also includes libraries, third-party libraries, okay? And for this, we have a gem. Like in Node.js, we have NPM. In, let's say, Python, we have pip. For Ruby, we have gem, okay? So when it is installed, you have to make one new folder. Let's go to our Visual Studio Code. We open one folder, new folder, and we make one new folder named as Ruby. Hit enter and now select this folder. Now once your folder has been created, click on the plus icon and use main.rb. RB stands for Ruby extension. RB. Hit enter and your first file will be ready. Here we are going to write Ruby code. Okay. This is going to be a file where we are going to write Ruby. So you can see a Ruby icon over here and RB stands for Ruby extension. Now the setup will take some time. Setup में थोड़ा time लगेगा इसको पूरा install होने में because it's a vast library. Let it install. Okay. Now in order to print a first hello world, we need to use some special keywords. Like in Python, we have print. In Python, okay, we have console.log. In JavaScript, okay, then we have system.out print line. We have this in Java. Similarly, in Ruby, we have puts, puts. What puts do is, puts prints your output. It prints whatever you say it to print. So after puts, you don't need to use like this, but you need to use some inverted commas, okay, like this. And whatever you write under this gets printed like this. So this is the first line of code in our Ruby. Congratulations, bravo. We wrote our first line in Ruby that puts hello world. Now, in order to execute this will come in the next lecture because till then your setup will also be downloaded. Okay. So if you like the video, if you like the introduction, and if you like the quick setup, how we can easily set up our Ruby, then do hit the like button. And if you're new to this channel, please consider subscribing to my channel because I make lots and lots of technological videos absolutely free of cost. And I shall see you in the next lecture. Till then, keep learning. And if you are having any doubt, then mention me in the comment section below. I hope आपको lecture अच्छा लगा हो and I will see you in the next one. Keep learning.